I am making a Galaxy Eyes deck profile. I put this deck back together when I realized that the deck was going to get more support. And I played at my locals recently, ended up getting 4th place out of, I think it was 10 or 12 people. And I started off bad just because I couldn't remember how to play the deck, but then as it went on, I believe I ended with a record of 3-1. Where the only thing I lost to was heroes, but then after that, I just kept winning. I believe I managed to beat Branded Despia, Dragon Link, and Trap Tricks. Yeah, that's what it was. But the deck is missing a couple of things, which I will go over when I get to those. But overall, the deck is really fun. So start off with the monsters. I play 1 copy of Astral Karibo. I would play this at 2, but I only have the 1. So instead of playing a second Astral Karibo for now, I play a 3rd copy of Galaxy Knight instead. Then I play 3 copies of Orbital or Photon Orbital. Photon Orbital can be equipped from your hand or face-up field to a Photon or Galaxy monster you control by targeting it. And then you can send itself from the field when equipped to a monster to the graveyard as cost to then be able to search your deck for a Photon or Galaxy monster. And you can only use that effect Photon Orbital once per turn. And while it's equipped to a monster, that monster gains 500 attack points and cannot be destroyed in battle. Then I play 3 copies of Photon Vanisher. Photon Vanisher can only be special, or cannot be normal summon or set, and it must be special summoned from your hand while you control a Photon or Galaxy monster. And then once per turn when it's summoned this way, then you can add a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can only summon Photon Vanisher once per turn that way. Also, it cannot attack the turn it's summoned, but this is good just because if you have it with a copy of Photon Thrasher, Photon Thrasher cannot be normal summon or set, and it must be special summoned from your hand by controlling no monsters. So if you see Thrasher and Vanisher, you can special the Thrasher, then special the Vanisher. Vanisher will search Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and then from there you can make a Starleaf Photon Blast Dragon that can then summon a Galaxy Eyes from your hand. Then I play 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. One of my opponents actually thought that I couldn't use this in its own archetype because of how they've only ever seen it played in Cyber Dragons. But Galaxy Soldier lets you discard a light monster to then be able to search your deck, summon it from your hand, and then when it's summoned by its own effect, you can then add a Galaxy. I won't say it has to be a Galaxy card, but I think it has to be a Galaxy. Yeah, you can add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use the search effect of Galaxy Soldier once per turn, but you use its discard a light, summon itself multiple times a turn. Then I play 2 copies of Galaxy Brave. Galaxy Brave is only in this deck as an extender because of how you can reveal I think it has to be a Photon in hand. If you reveal 1 Photon monster in your hand, summon it to the field, and its level becomes that monster's level. Then you can target a Galaxy monster in your grave, so then have its attack and defense become equal to that monster's attack and defense. Then I play 3 copies of Galaxy Knight. Like I said, I would only play 2 of this if I had a second Astral Karibo, but for now, 3 of these are just fine, because it's another trade-in target. But Galaxy Knight has the effect, if you control a Galaxy or Photon monster, you can normal summon it from your hand without tributing, but if you do it, it loses 1,000 attack. And then when it's normal summoned, you target 1 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in your graveyard and spawn it back from the grave in defense position. And you can only use that effect of Galaxy Knight once per turn. Then I play 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon. Afterglow Dragon can be special summoned from your hand just by controlling a Galaxy Eyes monster. But if you do summon it by its effect, it has to be in defense position. And then if Galaxy Eyes is detached as material, let's see. It is detached from an Xyz monster as material to activate that monster's effect. You can then activate Afterglow Dragon's effect to then take a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck or hand and either special summon it or attach it to a monster you control as material. And if this effect was used during the battle phase, then the attack points of all your number monsters are doubled. And you can only use that effect of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon once per turn. Then I play 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Also, forgive the pause there. I was reading to see if that was like a permanent double, but it's only for the battle phase of that turn that the attack points are doubled. Anyway, back to the Galaxy Eyes. I play 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This card is the heart and soul of this deck, where if you don't see it, then you're in trouble. The Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon can be special summoned from your hand by attributing 2 monsters that have 2,000 or more attack points. If it battles a monster, then it can banish both itself and that monster it was battling until the end of the battle phase. And then when it returns to the field, Galaxy Eyes then gains 500 attack points for each material the opposing monster had. So if it battles something like a fusion monster and that effect is used, it won't gain any attack points, but if it attacks something like a Zeus that your opponent hasn't used its effect yet for some reason, then when Galaxy Eyes comes back, Zeus, it would then gain 500 attack points for each material Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder had. I don't know why they wouldn't use its effect, but I'm just using it as an example. A better example of something like this would be something like Infinite Track Earth Slicer. But you hardly ever actually summon Photon Dragon to attack with. Usually you're summoning it for Xyz materials. Anyway, moving on to the spells. So starting off with one of the spells, I play 1 copy of Galaxy Zero, 1 copy of Photon Hand, and 1 copy of Galaxy Trance. I'm probably going to end up taking out Photon Hand and Galaxy Zero for cards like Twin Twister or Mystical Space Typhoon, just for more main deck back row hate. But Galaxy Trance lets you pay 2,000 life points, target a Galaxy monster in your grave. Now you target 1 Photon monster in your graveyard, summon it to your field, and then special summon a Galaxy monster from your deck that has the same level. But if you use the fact you are locked into Photon and Galaxy monsters for the entirety of the turn. And then Photon Hand lets you can only activate it if you control a Photon or Galaxy monster. But you target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it. But unless you control a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, then you can only target Xyz monsters with Photon Hand. Which does help because if your opponent summons a Zeus, then all you have to do is have this and a Photon Thrash and you can deal with the Zeus. And then Galaxy Zero lets you target 1 Galaxy or Photon monster in your graveyard, summon it from their graveyard, but its effects are negated. But if Galaxy Zero leaves the field, its attack points are dropped to 0, but its effects are restored. Then I play 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, and 1 copy of Called by the Grave. I'll probably take Reinforcement of the Army out for something like a 3rd Twin Twister or a 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon or Cosmic Cyclone. But Reinforcement of the Army lets you add a level 4 or lower warrior from your deck to your hand, so in this case, it'll either let you add Thrasher or Vanisher. Call buys in the deck to stop hand traps, or if your opponent's trying to do something in the graveyard. Harpy's Feather Duster just to deal with back row. One copy of Monster Reborn just to act as an extender. Then I play 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This just because your opponent, usually you will get hand traps, so this just lets you either draw 2, look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card back into the deck, or take control of an opponent's monster at the end of the turn. Then I play 2 copies of Galaxy Expedition. Galaxy Expedition can only be activated once per turn, but if you control a Galaxy monster, or a Photon or Galaxy monster that is at least level 5, then you can summon another Galaxy or Photon monster that is level 5 or higher from your deck. Then I play 3 copies of Trade-In. Trade-In just lets you discard a level 8 monster for cost to then draw 2 cards. Fairly simple. 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary. To me, I see this card as both a starter or an extender, although it's probably more of an extender. But pretty much all it does is just lets you summon 2 Photon tokens to your field that are level 4 light thunder monsters with 2000 attack and 0 defense. But they are summoned in defense position. But the whole reason I think of it as an extender or a starter is because of how it gives you 2 Photon monsters that you can then either use to summon your Link monster of Galaxy Ice Soulflare Dragon, or something to equip Photon Orbital to then start your things. Anyway, moving on for the traps, I only play 3, those being 3 copies of Tachyon Transmigration. Tachyon Transmigration is what I consider to be the best the best counter trap in the game, which to some extent even the best hand trap. Just being that when it's active, it can only activate if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, but when activated, it negates all your opponent's cards and effects that activate in a chain before it, and then shuffles them into the deck. But the reason I say it could also be the best hand trap is simply the fact that it can also be activated from your hand if you control a Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon monster. So Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon or Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. But the best part of this card that I found out is the fact that it is not a once per turn effect. And I said it because I opened 2 of them, attempted to use a second, then actually checked, and then was surprised when I realized it wasn't a hard once per turn effect. But like I said, this card is actually what got me my only table 1 win. Whereas against Prank Kids, where they went like chain 7, 8, 9, I think they might have gone 10. And then at the end of that, I just went Transmigration, just destroyed them. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Transmigration is the best counter trap. But if you're not playing Galaxy Eyes, then yeah, it's really bad. Anyway, moving on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Soulflare Dragon. Soulflare Dragon has the effect of when it's Link summoned, you can target 1 Galaxy or Photon monster from your graveyard or return it to your hand. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard a Photon and a Galaxy monster to then target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Or you can discard a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon instead. And you can only use each effect of Galaxy Eyes Soulflare Dragon once per turn. Then I play 1 copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Abramax. I only play this card because I do not have a Galaxy Eyes Cypher X Dragon. If I had Cypher X Dragon, I'd be playing that instead of this. But for now, Abramax works. But it can only be links. Oh yeah, also the 2 Afterglows have to be link summoned using 2 light monsters, with at least 1 of them having 2,000 or more attack. And then Abramax requires 2+ monsters summoned from the extra deck. So again, you're probably not summoning this ever. Honestly, it'd probably be better to use something like Boral Sword or can't remember the thing's name now. Or start using Skull Dread instead. Then I play one copy of Starleash Photon Blast Dragon. This is just used to summon a Galaxy Eyes from your hand. But it also makes so that your light monsters that have 2,500 or 2,000 or more attack cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. As I believe it protects from targeting. Yes, it does protect from targeting. But also, you need to detach a material once per turn to then special summon a Galaxy Eyes that is either banished or in your graveyard. Then I play one copy of Cyber Dragon Nova and one copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity's in this deck because it's a generic negate that lets you target a special summoned attack position monster on the field and attach it to its material. And then it gains 200 attack for each material it has. And then Cyber Dragon Nova has the effect of... Well, you're never really using Cyber Dragon Nova's effect in this deck. You're literally just making it so you can make an Infinity. And then I play one copy of number 68, one copy of number 90, one copy of number 107. But number 68 has the effect of it gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in both graveyards. And then during either player's turn quick effect, you can detach. Xenophon also has the effect of being able to use a material during either player's turn to prevent either player from summoning from the graveyard for that turn. And also prevents itself from being able to be destroyed by card effects. So depending on what you're facing, Xenophon can actually be really good. And then number 90 has the effect of, well, it has a photon monster's material that cannot be destroyed by card effects. And if your opponent activates a monster or the effect of a monster, it can detach material and negate that effect. And then if the detached card was a galaxy card, you can then... But if the detached card is a galaxy card, then that monster effect that just got negated is also destroyed. And then once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can take one galaxy card from your deck and either add it to your hand or attach it to Photon Lord as material, which technically Photon Lord can search Galaxy Cyclone or add it attached to itself as material. And then Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon has the effect of, at the start of the battle phase, you can detach material, negate the effects of all their monsters on the field, and have their attack points return to normal. And then your opponent activates a card or effect after this effect has resolved, then Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon will gain 1,000 attack per card that they've activated, and as well as the ability to gain a second attack. Then I play one copy of Cypher Dragon, 138, and one Cypher Blade Dragon. Cypher Dragon can detach a material to then target one monster your opponent controls, take control of it till the end of the turn. Its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, but only the Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon that activates effect can attack directly. But Cypher Dragon's the reason why I would want to play a Cypher X Dragon, because Cypher X Dragon can also be Xyz by using any Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon you control. So you can just have it target an opponent's monster, take control of it, and then use that stolen monster to summon your own bigger monster. But Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy's effect is, if your opponent activates a spell card or the effect of a spell card, you can negate that effect and then attach it to as material. And then when its opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach material from it to redirect that attack to the Hope Harbinger. And then I believe Hope Harbinger has a third effect. And then it has another effect where if a face-up Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Xyz monster you control to have it gain that destroyed monster's attack point until the end of the turn. And Cypher Blade Dragon can also be Xyz by using a Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster, I believe. By using a rank 8 Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster. It cannot be used as Xyz material, But you can detach one material from it to then target one face-up card that your opponent controls. Whereas believe it has to be face-up. It may just be target one card your opponent controls. Okay, target one card on the field and destroy it. And then if Cypher Blade is destroyed, then you can target a Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon in your graveyard and summon it back to the field. Then I play one copy of Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, one copy of Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, and one copy number 62 of Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon is this deck's main win condition, where during the battle, or when it battles, you can detach one material from it to then, until the end of the damage step, it gains 200 attack points for each rank, or for it gains 200 attack times the combined ranks of all of these monsters on the field. So if it's just by itself, it'll end up gaining 1600 attack. Usually I have it with one or two other rank 8s, so it ends up gaining either 32 or 48 or 4800 attack points. But the only downside of this card is that unless Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is material, it only deals half damage. But this thing is your main win condition because normally you'll make it using a Photon Dragon and Afterglow Dragon. But when you use this effect, Afterglow's effect would then trigger, letting you attach a Galaxy Eyes Photon to it if you didn't make it using Afterglow and a Photon Dragon. Or you can summon a Photon Dragon, and then you get to double its attack points. So if it only is attacking, it will gain 1600 attack going at 5600, but then its attack points will be doubled to 11,200. And then Full Armor Photon Dragon's only in this deck because you can make it using a Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster you control to then use material, target one face-up card on, or one card. I always get this confused with Cypher Blade. But you can detach a material, target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. It also has the effect once per turn, you can target up to 2 equipped cards equipped to this card, attach them to it as material, but that effect is never used. I've never seen anyone use it. The only time I've ever seen that effect used was if someone was using equip spells that weaken monsters. Like I've seen a Full Armor Photon equipped with 2 flints that then attached each flint to his material. Anyway, and then the last card is Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I play this card just in case I face an Xyz based deck. But it has the effect of, if it's Xyz summoned using a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon material, it negates the effects of all their face-up cards on the field. Then, or you can detach material from it to then send all overall units on your opponent's field to the graveyard. It then gains 500 attack points and one attack for each material sent to the grave using that effect. So if you're facing a board full of Xyz monsters, like I've used it against the Utopia deck and detached like 7 or 8 materials, it then gained 35 to 4,000 attack points and the ability to attack 7 or 8 times. I only say or because I don't remember which one, to be honest. But that is it for my Galaxy Eyes deck profile, or the main extra deck. Since I did well enough in the tournament, I accidentally bumped the camera a bit, my bad. I will also go over my side deck. If I was siding to go second, then I would play side in my 3 Godarlas and 3 copies of Raigeki. The only reason I chose Godarla for this deck is because Flowonderies was present. So I figured Godarla would have been perfect, especially considering the fact that it's a level 8 wind. But Godarla just works by tributing an opponent's monster and then summoning itself to the opponent's field. And then if all kaijus work in the way of, if your opponent controls a kaiju, you can special summon it from your hand. If I was siding for back row hate, I would side in 3 Cosmic Cyclones. Or if I was going first, then I would side in either 3 Dimensional Barriers and 3 Ice Dragon's Prison. But that is it for my Galaxy Eyes deck profile. If you have any ideas of what I can do to improve the deck, any ideas of decks I like to see be made in the future, or any decks I like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. Thanks for watching.